行くぞはっジェノサイカッタ
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and I have been doing some extensive testing with Mai and Athena in the most rewarding game mode in the game, which is Guild Raid. Since we can get those double attack stones from there, we can get unpairing kits, gold hammers, and so on. How well can they do? But we're going to answer that question, but we're also going to answer, do you actually need the 3pg's for Mai and Athena? Do you need these 3pg cards? Well, I can tell you already, when it comes to PvP, I would highly recommend them. I think they would be insane cards because they're full animation screens, they don't miss, they are massive. But since there's already 3pg cards for Athena and Mai already in the game that are always available, do you need them? Well, some ultimate skills actually miss in Guild Raid when you're doing them. And the new 3pg's that are offered to the SS characters don't miss. They keep Rugal from exploding. However, the other 3pg's, like Mai's 3pg here, the one that's always available in the game, it doesn't miss either. In fact, Rugal never did his explosion even one time. All the times I tried fighting him, he never did it. He'd do it right after I would do the skill, but he wouldn't do it during, and that's exactly what you want. It's also good to know that this card also gives you a recovery. So you don't need a healing striker like 98 Athena or maybe Ukyo or Ash or some kind of healing striker. You just don't need them. You know, whenever Rugal does his explosion, he's going to do a lot of damage to you. But with the SS characters, especially if you have them at 2-star or 3-star, and having this heal, and then on top, you'll get free imprint stones. This imprint stone decreases damage received by 30% whenever a fighter is attacked. Having that and the heal really gives Mai quite a bit of survivability. I mean, if you're having trouble keeping her alive, then obviously having a healing striker or a decreased damage received striker would be a good thing, but you really don't need them. As you guys can see, I actually used Geese. He doesn't offer any kind of heal, nothing like that. All he offers is the obtain power, which is exactly what I want. This doesn't matter because it's obtain power when killing an enemy, obtain 15% of power at the start of the stage, and obtain 10% power when using an ultimate move is really, really handy. Plus, he is 4-star, and that's really going to help deal more damage. And then we have Goro here for Athena, because Goro does the same thing as Geese, except he also offers this increased attack member by 2% for 10 seconds. So he gives a little extra attack to Athena on top of the gaining power. And then we have Rachel, of course. We talked about Rachel with Eileen. She is the best striker for Eileen in any case. And that PG rate is really nice. Now, I can tell you guys that I did get 380 million in Guild Raid using the 5pg card. Now, that's not the run I'm going to show you today because I wasn't recording it. But I can tell you, you don't even need a 3pg. You can actually just use your damn 5pg and still get it done. It will be more difficult. I mean, she does have 30% PG rate in her core, which is massive. That's insane. And you do get PG rate from the first stone, which is nice, right? You get this PG rate here, so that's 45% PG rate. And Mai actually resets her damn skills, 50% chance to reset cooldown strike active skills, which is her first and second skill, upon landing the third skill. So whenever she does this skill here, her third skill, she can reset the first two skills. 50% chance, but it's kind of like a built-in Leah. And you can see that I ran with Akane set. I didn't use a Leah set, but maybe if you run with the Leah set, it's going to be a little bit more consistent, because then you got the chance of resetting from your core, but also resetting from the card set if you're having trouble building up your PG, if you're using just a 5pg card. But I can tell you that this 3pg is more than enough. It does amazing. Now, as far as Athena, I can tell you that Athena, something that's really funky about this character is her default finisher, which actually applies Starlight, isn't a really great skill to use here. Now, it is in certain moments, but when Rugal kind of clenches his stomach together, he's like, you know, kind of grunts a little bit, he's in an iframe, and he actually cancels or interrupts this default finisher. You'll do this finisher, but it'll just stop. It'll just stop, similar to what Kay does when you do his 5pg against the Immortal Dungeons. She'll just stop. And you don't get the skill, you don't delay the timer, nothing. And it sucks. So you really want to use her 3pg and rely on her Starlight from her first skill to apply Starlight to the boss. Now, something that I think is really strange about Athena is there's no PG rate in her core. There's no PG rate at all. This is very surprising for an SS character. I think that's kind of wacky, but maybe they felt she'd be overpowered because she is one damn strong character, and she does have the PG rate leadership, but that isn't applicable in PvP. Now, this isn't a review about these characters. This is just how they're doing in Guild Raid. And you're not going to use this leadership anyways in Guild Raid. You're going to use Mize for the 60% increase of female fighter. And that is massive, especially for Athena or Elizabeth if you're using her for Starlight, and Eileen. Now, I tried doing some runs with Pretty Zero, and oh, it was pretty rough, guys. I got to tell you, Eileen just proves to be a whole lot better. She just has better imprint stones, just has more attack. You can do her skills more often, her ultimate skills more often. She just proves to be really just the best for this, especially with Mai's leadership. Even with Rugal's leadership, pretty damn nuts. And for Athena, I am running the Athena set, and this is an insane set. You don't need it. The KS set would be just fine on her, but this set does give the extra 21% increase to defense. It will give her the increased attack equal to 50% of defense, and then the chance to deal additional damage to 180% of defense, which is crazy, upon landing an active skill. And it's also really helpful if you get below 20% HP, for defensive fighters anyways, that you'll get this decreased damage received by 60%, which is massive. I've already heard of Athena in PvP with this set tanking Rudy's 3pg skill twice. Tanking it twice. And if any of you know how much damage Rudy can do with his 3pg, it's pretty insane. Now, I do have a PG card on her. You probably don't need it. However, I found it was a lot easier to build up her 3pg. Now, do you need her 3pg for Guild Raid? No, you absolutely do not. In fact, the card that you craft in the game actually doesn't miss, and it will stall the timer, which is great. When Rugal does his explosion, he's not going to stop you. He's not going to stop you from doing your 3pg. So if you hit the 3pg, just like what you would with this 3pg right here, Rugal's just going to sit there and wait and wait and wait, and then he might do his explosion afterwards. And the other thing that's really nice about Athena, and Elizabeth has this as well, is she does have the decreased damage received by 75%. So if you get this skill off before Rugal does his explosion, it's really going to decrease damage received, on top of just Athena just being an absolute tank, being a defensive character. She is massive, guys. I mean, I do have both her infinities at level 10, and again, these characters are just level 3. They do have max imprint stone, except for Athena. I'm not even getting this last 10% attack from Athena. So keep that in mind. This thing isn't even maxed out. We would do even better if it was, because we'd be applying more Starlight. We'd be able to break the meter faster. But this is all I could do. I ran out of hammers. I just couldn't go any further, which really, really sucked. And as far as her capsules, she doesn't have max capsules, and Mai doesn't have any capsules. And as far as Eileen, you know, we're just running the 7 Nice set. We got the Super Armor card, the PG card. You guys have seen this multiple times. Max Imprint Stones, max capsules, just a max out character. And Rachel, we do have a Gintama set on her to apply a little extra burn for whenever she comes in as a striker. And having that dot from a striker coming in whenever Starlight's applied or Darkness is applied really helps. So let's jump into the action and let's rock and roll. Now, this is going to be really fast paced, guys. We are using Mai's 3pg that's always in the game. And you just want to run through 3 skills, always bring in your strikers. And then with Athena, just 3, 1, 2, 1. Then use your 3pg. Of course, bring Goro in as your striker. Do your 3pg, and then afterwards hit your 3 to get your hyper armor, and use your Starlight from your 1. Then switch to Eileen. Then you want to use Eileen's 3rd skill, then her 2nd skill, then her 1. Then you should have enough her PG built up, and then you go ahead and do her 3pg. Whenever you use an Eileen, you generally want to use, you know, both of her skills at the same time, or not at the same time, but one after the other. Sometimes though, depending on where Rugal's meter is, you might want to go ahead and go into my, can't go into my early, and just use one special from Eileen. And there is a set pattern to what I'm doing. I know it's pretty fast paced. Everything's happening so fast. But guys, seriously, you know, I was able to get 380 million using my 3pg in here. And I am using Athena's 3pg, and I can tell you it definitely helps. And the reason it helps is because you do get a heal from that 3pg. You don't need it. You do not need it. If you have Athena, you got the decreased damage received. So you don't have to really worry about it too much. But it does help. It does help. For sure. I mean, they pretty much made it to where if you're going to go for the cards, like in my case, unless you're really PvP focused, I don't think you need it. And Athena, really kind of the same thing. You know, both of their 3pgs that are available in the game are more than good enough, especially Mai's, because of the heal. You just don't have to worry about it. 3, 2, here we go. We're going to get our 3pg. And afterwards, we're going to hit our S3, then our 2. And switch to Mai. I always use my skills. I use her first, second, and third. I want to apply some burn before we use our 3pg. That way we're going to do a little bit more dot damage. Hopefully get a little more damage off. And I'm telling you guys, as far as Athena's default finisher, I mean, you can use it. It's going to apply Starlight afterwards. It's nice. But that damn thing will miss at times. It will get canceled. It will get interrupted. And it's just annoying as hell. And I personally like doing runs where things are just more consistent, where there's a lot less RNG, and I don't have to sit there and do this 20 million times trying to get the best score. And I found when I just used Athena's 3pg, I had a lot better luck of being consistent and getting, you know, more consistent runs. Oh yeah. Ooh, took a little damage there. Come on. I mean, both these girls are freaking insane. They are massively powerful, and the fact that, you know, they gave us these characters for, you know, I mean, they're pretty much designed for the best game mode in the game. Now, if you don't have Eileen, there's an argument to be made that might not be the best leadership, because, you know, right now, you know, you have Maxima, you have Pretty Zero. Those are two of the strongest attack type characters, or female characters in the game. And I'm sure that maybe there's someone else that you could use as well. Maybe Lady Geese. Maybe you could try Lady Geese. But the thing about Eileen is you just use both of her ultimate skills. She just does so much damage so fast. You know, you only have a 6-second window when that Starlight is applied to break Rugal's meter. Oh, man. And something that's nice about Athena's Starlight is, even when Rugal does his explosion, it stays applied, which is awesome. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Now, this wasn't the best run. You know, obviously I couldn't break Rugal's meter as fast as I'd like to sometimes, which really sucked. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And there I kind of changed up what I'm doing a little bit. I didn't even use my 3pg. I just went ahead and just went through her skills, used her Awaken skill, and just went to Athena. But generally, you want to do a set rotation. Now there, if I'd got off my second skill, I would have got a little decreased damage received. And it does get pretty funky sometimes. You know, when Rugal does his explosion, sometimes you have to dodge and get on the other side of him, like what I did with Athena a second ago, to apply that Starlight before you bring in your damage dealing character. But if you have Eileen, this is going to be the best team for Guild Raid. I'm pretty well betting on it. I did do a run with Rugal and the leadership, BS Rugal, and I did get 412 million with Athena and with Eileen. But my Rugal's level 50 and completely maxed out. And he only offers a 45% increased attack leadership. Mai has double dot damage, applies 60% to female types. So Eileen's going to be a lot stronger. Athena or Elizabeth's going to be a lot stronger. And yeah, they're just going to be a better team, to be perfectly honest. They're going to be better, guys. Honestly, if you can do this kind of score with these characters, not even having capsules on Mai, not even having that last stat from the Imprint Stone on Athena, or just being level 30, it's pretty insane, guys, honestly. Lunatic is no joke. This is very hard game mode. And the fact that these characters did so well. And, you know, and I haven't practiced this a tremendous amount. And boom. Now, right there, what I tried doing, guys, is I tried getting out of here because I wanted to go for a better score because I knew I could get it. But it didn't happen, and I actually got the clear, so there's nothing I could do. So I could have done better than this. Like I said, I've gotten 380 million yesterday with a 5pg guard on mine. So hopefully this will help some of you out as far as deciding whether or not you actually need 3pgs. I know I showed a run with Athena using her 3pg, but I actually got the clear. I was going to use a different 3pg, but I can tell you guys right now, the free-to-play 3pg that you craft in the game for Athena will be just fine as well. You're not going to have the heal, so that will be something to think about if you decide to go for the 3pg cards for these girls. But for Mai, you don't need it. So should you go ahead and pull for those cards if you have the characters? That's completely up to you. And I stream on Twitch at 9 a.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.